So dying to self means that everything that you do, everything that you say, everything that you're trying to accomplish should be not to self, but to family, to life. Jesus died for the church. We as men have to die for our wives every day. We have to do that in order to be that priest of the family. The other part of that reading I think is so beautiful is how God talks about love. You have to love yourself before you can love your wife, before you can love others. And it's a good lesson for young people. Being engaged, being married. Do you love yourself first? If you don't, that's a tough one to try to love someone else. As a good friend of mine always says, you can't give what you don't have. And it's hard to love someone unless you do love yourself first. And that love obviously comes through from God. The other part of that reading that is kind of interesting to me is the point that God makes in the man shall leave behind his mother and father and cling to his wife. And they become one flesh. Now there's a couple things going on there to me. Number one is there's a message there for parents. Cut the umbilical cord. Let them go. They're on their own. Number two is for the husband and the wife. They are now one. They're not two. It's not me and my wife, whatever, or my husband, he's got his own thing going, I don't know what he's doing. You're one. You're one flesh, you're one body, you're one unit as a family. And so as you go through that thought process of being one unit, one family, you have to automatically look at what Father Don talked about this morning in his homily, which is talking about being that family church. Okay, the domestic church on earth is the family. And so you automatically have to know, and you have to come to the conclusion that as that domestic church on earth, here, we're the priests. And that's a tough responsibility because Father Tom here, Father Don, what is their job? Their job is to try to get us to heaven. Come closer to Jesus, come closer to God, find our faith, and be there with our faith. As the domestic priest in our domestic homes, we have to do the same thing. We have to model that priestly way of life, if you will, being married. Every priest is married to the church. That's their bride, as Jesus' bride was to the church. The priest is the bride of the church. Our bride is our wives, obviously. So we have to become third, as I mentioned before. And the other part of that is, the other part of our wedding vows is being able to follow through and practice and live the three big questions that are asked at our wedding. Okay? Number one, the question is, did you come here freely and without reservation? Most of us did. I would say all of us did. Number two is honor each other until death. Number three is accept children as a gift from God, which we go back to Genesis. Be fertile and multiply.